Thank you, Jim, and I want to thank you and John Shimkus from Illinois and the other of the 14 original co-sponsors, and the number I think still growing, because all of us have seen the interest on a bipartisan basis in raising the gold standard of quality assurance and food safety for our nation's food supply. We take an awful lot of things for granted in the United States, and one of those things that we take for granted is that when we walk into the grocery store, there will be abundance, diversity, wholesomeness, healthfulness, and affordable products available for our families to consume. And over the last several years, there have been high-profile incidences of lapses in food safety that have chipped away at that public confidence. And this is an area where there is no daylight between the interests of the producer, whether it's the rancher or the grower, and the end user, not just the retailer, but the consumer themselves, the person who is making a purchasing decision about the type and amount and volume of food that they're putting on their family's table. And so there's a perfect overlap of interests here, and we're very proud of the coalition that we've put together to bring forward a workable modernization of our food safety regulatory system. And my colleague Jim Costa from California represents an area that has that terrific diversity and abundance of specialty crops, of fruits and vegetables and nuts that are grown in this country. Florida is in a similar situation, representing a diverse array of products grown in our state. And as the world grows smaller, as we see more and more imports coming into the United States, and frankly for many of the developing nations, their first exportability is in the agricultural sector, and as we see changing tastes and preferences within the American consumers, as their palate shifts and they demand different flavors from Latin America or Asia or Africa, and we begin to bring in exotic herbs and exotic spices and exotic meats and fruits that were unimaginable a generation ago. We need to make sure that as that trade increases, we are not simultaneously exposing the American consumer to additional risk. And so the underlying framework of this bill will elevate that American gold standard as it is applied to our food supply, and apply it evenly across all food products, even those that are imported from other countries. We will require that other countries adhere to the same standards that we expect of American food processors and American food producers. We believe that it is a workable standard, one that can be implemented from the farm to the table. And as my colleague from California said, one of the important components there, and we learned this the hard way with the Mexican jalapeno scare last summer, is the ability to trace back the source of the individual product if it is identified as being suspicious. And that trace back is already in effect in California and Florida. We think that there is an opportunity to expand that technological ability and that standard to all 50 states and our trading partners. We believe that that makes the consumer safer. We believe that that restores confidence to the highest level it can possibly be. And we believe that our legislation can attract the greatest support to build momentum and get this to the President's desk, so that we can say to the American people, we have kept up with the regulatory frameworks to assure you that our food supply continues to be the safest, most wholesome, most abundant, and most affordable in the world. And so those are the principles upon which we built this legislation. And we're delighted to be joined by John Shimkus from Illinois, who serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee and will be a key player on our side of the aisle, certainly, and working with the other side of the aisle to move forward a food safety bill. So, John, thank you for being part of this.